Hello and welcome. You are live with Sandra, your RDN, where every week I have the pleasure of dishing out your weekly dose of nutrition and wellness news for your mind, your body, and your soul. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. I hope that you all had a wonderful weekend. And I thank you for tuning in live. For those who take the time out, hopefully you're having a little lunch so you can take in a little self-care, take in a little news that will help benefit you as well as your family. And for those who are listening to the replay, I thank you for pausing and taking time out of your day to do the same. And those who know me know that I love engagement. So please feel free to chime in, whether that's live, whether that's listening to the replay, post in the thread so that I can hear what's on your mind and hear what you would like to what you would like to know more about and post questions and comments. So I want this to serve as a two-way form of communication. And so we are continuing our series on mindful eating and weight loss and how to develop a mindset to lose weight. And weight loss is never just about food. It is really never just about weight loss. There's so many other factors that come into the picture when it comes down to eating healthy, getting healthy, and of course losing weight. So many things that have absolutely nothing to do with food. And those things are important because they impact our choices. And so this is a mini series where you can learn mindful eating and specific strategies that will help you to avoid overeating out of boredom, stress, anxiety, and to avoid that unwanted weight gain. Okay. So we're going to continue our talk about mindset and how it affects our weight loss. And so today we are going to talk about to dig yourself out of the pit of gaining weight and losing weight, that pitfall, that vicious cycle that we talk about. So we're going to talk about 7 keys to crush that all or nothing thinking. That all or nothing thinking really gets us in trouble, and it usually sets us up for failure. Okay, even though we have the best intentions. And so when you start a plan to lose weight, here's a scenario. You start a plan to lose weight, to get healthier. You're either all in or you're all out. There's no middle ground for most people, right? So if you have fallen into that trap of all or nothing thinking, and the single biggest roadblock that's in your way is your mindset. Okay. And so, but if you can change that, imagine that you're eating healthier, you have your weight loss goals, weren't dependent on your job, your life, or being perfect. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy to challenge you and to change your thoughts and beliefs and your attitudes. And so, in fact, these are the same steps that I follow when I challenge my own thoughts and to escape the self-sabotage grip of that black and white or all or nothing thinking. And so I'm going to give you 7 steps today on or keys to crushing that all or nothing mindset and resulting in successful and sustainable weight loss, increased energy, and optimal health. Okay. So this is the stuff that the diets don't tell you about. Okay. And so for those who don't know me, I am first a woman of faith who is blessed to serve as a registered dietitian nutritionist, a certified personal trainer, and your friendly accountability partner. And so pulling from a variety of leading edge weight loss strategies and lifestyle strategies, I help adults to integrate healthier eating habits into their daily lifestyle. So it's all about creating a lifestyle of change that will last the long haul. Okay. So whatever's going on, there's always something going on. How do we marry the two? How do we make yourself a priority from an eating perspective, exercise perspective, self-care perspective, as well as you're working and having and other commitments that you have to juggle. Okay. So it's about creating a lifestyle of change, yes, it's about creating a lifestyle of self-care and about breaking food strongholds. So as you tune in and chime in, please feel free to say hello and tell me where you're tuning in from. All right. And so as a side segue, please stay with me to the end so you can hear how you can take a deeper dive with me to discover your personalized keys to weight loss success. And so by now you've seen the promos of Back on Track, which is my 60-minute complimentary phone session where we discover your particular keys for weight loss success. Valued at $125, completely waived. And this is the last week that you're able to put your name in the hat. So stay tuned and you'll hear more about it. However, if you do have to jump off, you can take a sneak peek at www.actionchoices.com/back on track. Again, that is actionchoices.com/back on track. And this will give you more details about this very limited special opportunity. Okay. So, I like to kind of throw out a little icebreaker here. So post all in or all out, or maybe there's a middle ground there. Maybe there's a middle ground where where when you plan to lose weight or you just want to eat healthier, do you feel like you're either all in or all out? Or is there some middle ground? So where do you fall? Okay. So I would like to assess where we are, okay, in this guard, who my audience is for today. Okay. Are you all in, all out, or are you just kind of in the middle? All right, so for those who are tuning in, we're continuing our series on stress and stress eating. Why does it happen? What do we need to do to make it stop? And we're talking about digging yourself out of the weight loss pit of that weight gain, weight loss vicious cycle. And we're going to talk about 7 keys to crush all or nothing thinking. All right, so the first thing we're going to kick it off is, what exactly is all or nothing thinking? Okay, sometimes we'll call it stinking thinking. But all or nothing thinking. So all or nothing thinking is when you see things in absolutes. Okay. You're either all in or you're all out. It's either all or nothing. It's either right or wrong. It's either on or off. There is no middle ground. There's no gray areas. None of that. Okay. There's a place for that. Definitely. Not all the time, though. Learn to spot all or nothing thinking. Okay. So learn to spot it. So first, the first key to crushing the all or nothing thinking is to learn how to spot it. Learn how to spot it. So before you can change self-sabotaging thoughts, you must learn how to spot them and admit them. Okay. Don't stay in denial about it. So whether you are talking to others or yourself, pay attention to keywords like always, never, impossible, perfect, ruined. Okay. And so here's some examples of how these terms are used. I eat great during the day, but always binge at night. Okay. Always. I never make it more than 3 weeks into a diet before it all comes crashing down. So never. Now is not a good time. There's too much happening in my life. I'm waiting for the perfect time to start. So perfect. Okay. And here's another one. I just downed a row of Oreos. Well, I guess my diet is ruined. Now what do you think? Or it's impossible to keep up with this diet now. I'll start again when I can give it my full attention. So guessing that your diet is ruined is because you had a moment of indulgence, and so you just might as well say, what the heck? Or I got too much going on. I can't give it my full attention. So it's impossible for me to do this. So catch yourself saying these all or nothing keywords. Okay. Okay. Catch yourself. You'll be surprised. It just flows out. And we don't even know it flows out. So number 2, describe the situation. Okay. So in this step, we're going to briefly describe the situation or the circumstance that led to the thoughts. Okay. That we just identified. All those, the always, the never, the ruin, the perfect. So what's going on? Like, what caused all this stuff to happen? So you can have some triggers like pressures at work or school. Okay. Maybe it's starting to build up. You were put on a project at work at the last, you put off something that you need to work on, but now it's the last minute and it's due. You woke up late. You had an argument at home, or kids, finances. Number of things could have led to oh my gosh, I just don't have time to make myself a priority. Okay. So post yes or no if you have ever said these words. And I'm going to recap those words of identifying all or nothing thinking. But I always binge at night. I never make it more than 3 weeks, or whatever the number is for you. I'm waiting for the perfect time to start. Or I guess I ruined my diet, so I'll just go ahead and just blow it for the rest of the day or the rest of the weekend. It's impossible to keep this diet going because, I just got too much going on right now. Okay, it's not the right time. So if you've ever said that, that's most of us. Okay. All right. So let's continue to number 3. Capture the stories that you're telling yourself. Okay. So this is going to require you to take an honest assessment of yourself. So capture the stories that you're telling yourself. So in this step, you had the thought immediately after this triggering event. So you had this thought. Okay. And this thought was like, likely subconscious, or it could have been automatic. So, for example, this always happens. Okay, that's your triggering thought. So, the immediate thought to capture is that's why I've never been able to stick to a diet. So, you've convinced yourself because XYZ always happens every time I try to start doing something or try to exercise or start eating healthy, something always happens. So, therefore, I can never get started. Notice the word never, okay, in the second thought, and always. And so here's another example. I just down the road Oreos. Well, I guess my diet is ruined. So the triggering event and the thought, okay? The triggering event was you're down the Oreos. The event or the thought was, I guess I ruined it. Why bother? Okay. It's impossible to keep this diet going now. I'll start again when I can give it my full attention. So immediate thought to capture. So the event was, it's impossible for me to keep this going because I just got way too much on my plate right now. I mean, that's probably the number one reason. The number one thing that I hear is because people are busy or this happened or that happened. So I cannot give this my full attention. I cannot even do the simple things that you're asking me to do, Sandra, because I got so much stuff going on. So notice the all or nothing keyword impossible, okay, in the second thought. And so now number 4, okay, so the number 4 way or key to crush all or nothing thinking is pinpoint the emotions, okay? Pinpoint the emotions. In this step, describe the feelings or emotions, okay? Describe them. So in the moment, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. Usually you're overwhelmed for the amount of work that's on your plate, or you're feeling frustrated because this diet is turning out to be another failed attempt. Okay, so you're frustrated. You're feeling angry at yourself because you can't manage to conjure the willpower to keep going, or you can't manage to find the time or the motivation to do XYZ that's what's going to help you to lose the weight. Or your feelings of despair, something that seems to just always get in the way. Something's always happening, right? And maybe you even feel a sense of relief that something kind of pops up because then you just kind of go back to what you know. You just kind of go back to what you know. Change is difficult. It's difficult. Feelings of relief. Okay, you can finally come up for air, avoid the discomfort of change, right? And I point this out because I have felt the exact same relief, from, you just want to call it quits. Sometimes it's just easier just to just say, no, you know what, we'll do this another time. Okay. So we always want to put ourselves and make ourselves a priority. Sometimes either just distractions, the devil just getting in the way, or just making things unnecessarily difficult for yourself. Number five. So the 5 ways to crush all or nothing thinking is to describe the results of your thoughts and your emotion. Okay. So as you see, there's so much involved with lifestyle change and a lot of it's on the mental side. And so describe the results of your thoughts and emotions. So let's pause to recap our scenario for a moment here. So especially if you just chimed in a little late. So you finished 2 weeks solid on your diet. Everything was amazing until you were handed 2 new projects at work. And you had time to focus on, before that, you had time to focus on your health, but now that time has been snapped. That's been taken away. And this is where dietitians come in to help because now that this has happened, how do we keep the train moving forward when you have just been dealt these unexpected cards, okay? Which is life. Life is very unexpected, but that's where the expertise of the dietitians help you because now, in order for the food part to work, we have to get this stuff on the front end to work to where we're able to manage our time and you're not feeling overwhelmed and frustrated. Okay. That's the tricky part. All right. So I'll start again. I have the time to give, you have the time to give your full attention. And then the thought triggers feelings of overwhelm, frustration, anger, along with despair. So now you look at the action you take as a result of these thoughts, okay, and emotions. It's easy to see what's going to happen next because you had the time. Now you don't have the time. Now you're feeling overwhelmed because now you have this over here going on. And at the same time, we're trying to work on you. So now now you feel like you have to make a choice. And that's the problem. You shouldn't have to choose your work over your life or your health over your life. You know what I'm saying? So, but what we typically do is we quit. We stop the train. We stop working on ourselves, we stop making ourselves a priority, and we focus on the work, okay? Or the other thing, okay? Whatever that other thing is. Most of the time it's work, but the other thing. And now we see the actions we take as a result of our thoughts and emotions. And the questions become, how do you change those thoughts? How do you not automatically go to that? Because it's so easy for us to do that. So, post or reply overwhelmed, frustrated, or do you feel despair? Which emotions best describe you when you feel this vicious cycle coming? Because it happens over and over and over again. And sometimes it's so habitual that people don't even realize it's a cycle, but it is a vicious cycle. And it's hard to get out of it. It's hard to get out of it sometimes. And so we're talking about how to dig yourself out of this weight loss, weight gain, vicious cycle pit. And so before getting into the last 2 points, which addresses how do you change your thoughts, how do you end the vicious cycle of not having successful weight loss, okay? Remember the limited time special announcement that I had given to you where we're talking about taking a deeper dive into your personal keys. Okay. Summer season is quickly approaching. Are you ready for it? Are you ready to put on those summer clothes, your tank tops and your shorts and your swimsuits? And what I'm hearing from most people is they are not comfortable in their clothes. They're not happy with how they look, and they're not comfortable with putting on a bathing suit. They're not ready. But if you're not where you want to get to, now is the time to take that opportunity to take that next step to focus. And you can focus on what's your side, what's on your side of the street, which is the things that you can actually control. Okay. So I did a live on that. And so I invite you to a one-on-one conversation with me to take a deeper dive in defining precisely what is on your side of the street. Okay. So that you can move forward, reaching your health goals, weight loss goals, health goals, life goals. Okay. Some people just want to have peace. Some people just want to have energy. Some people just want to feel good about themselves again. And so I'm looking for 12 committed people who are ready to take on the weight loss success. Jump on that bandwagon. And so I'm offering at no cost a 60-minute back on track session. And it's complimentary phone session where we're going to discover your personal keys to weight loss and nutrition success, valued at $125 complimentary. We're going to talk about a crystal clear vision of your nutrition and weight loss path for you. We're going to uncover any hidden obstacles or unconscious behaviors and patterns that may have been sabotaging your success with building healthy eating habits, losing weight, keeping it off, and being able to integrate it into the world and life that you have. That's what's important. And so you'll leave the session not only inspired, but also with some tangible next steps to help catapult your weight loss and health. And all you have to do is click the link to grab a spot on my calendar, fill out the short application, and it's easy as that. And I am going to look at the applications and submit and pick the lucky 12. And again, you will go to actionchoices.com/back on track. And let me give you a little bit of insight on what I'm looking for. I am looking for people who are extremely committed in achieving their weight loss and health goals, people that are willing to do what it takes to have that long-term success, to be able to navigate in any situation, who's just ready to just do it and not focus on perfection, because it's not about that. It's about giving themselves grace and staying in the game. And my best advice is to apply now. Don't wait. These sessions do go quickly, and you'll feel disappointed if you missed out. So go ahead and do this, because I only do this once a year. Okay. So it's a long time before this opportunity rolls back around again. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. So don't worry if you don't feel like you win anything. Just having your name in the hat will give you top priority the next time that I'm able to do this special opportunity. Okay. And so now let's go into the last 2 points on how to address, how do you change those thoughts and how do you end the vicious cycle, okay, of not having successful weight loss. So number 6, change your initial thoughts. So I will give you 3 examples to challenge your thoughts. Ask these questions. Ask questions like, is this thought a true statement? Is this true? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, is it really impossible for me to stick to my diet? Is it really impossible? It's usually not impossible. Okay, a lot of times we just need a little help with time management and setting priorities. And then number 3, is there anyone in a position like mine that is able to keep eating healthier, keep the weight loss going when life gets in the way. Okay, absolutely so. There's somebody. Okay, but by asking the right, and if there's not, that's where your dietitian comes in. And again, you still need the dietitian because you want to make sure you're getting the right support that's going to help you long term. And so by asking the right questions, you will start to see your actions and results are based on skewed rationale. Okay. When you start asking the right questions and one that feels right in the moment, but really isn't exactly true. So if we're honest with each other, realizing that your initial thoughts aren't true isn't always enough of a reason to change them. Okay. That's just one part of it, but usually still not enough to, to push people to the next step. And so, why? The short answer is it's an easy way out. Okay, it's an easy way out. So, number 7, choose a new thought to crush the all or nothing thinking. Okay, so the goal of this step is to find a replacement thought. Okay, how are you going to rename this thing? How are we going to turn this negative into a positive, or this unsure into some certainty, or some helplessness into hope? How are we going to do that? And so, one thing that will help is to create emotions that will drive you to your goal. So you want to build a healthy relationship with food on a consistent basis, and you want to lose weight. Okay. And you want to feel good. Okay. It's not always about losing weight. To me, weight loss is a bonus. It's going to happen once you start doing all the other things that come before it. So you want to build a healthy relationship with food on a consistent basis. In a nutshell, you want to speak positive things. Okay. Thoughts like the goal is progress, not perfection. If I fail, at least I'm failing forward. Okay. Because we do need to fumble. We do need to slip a little bit in order to see where we are, where we need to work on, and et cetera, in order to make things more consistent and to make things a lifestyle. Mistakes are proofs of progress. Okay. If you make mistakes, that means you're doing something. Okay. You can't make a mistake if you're not doing it. Okay. And so if you need help shifting to positive thoughts during the storms of life and how to integrate that with still keeping yourself a priority, just post need help, okay? Not just help, but accountability. Okay, that's what this is about. Remember, I'm your accountability partner. So the big takeaway message is thoughts provoke questions. Okay, so what are your sabotaging or self-sabotaging thoughts that hinder you from consistently eating healthier or consistently striving to make yourself a priority and to put self-care higher on your priority list? Okay, what are your self-sabotaging thoughts that hinder you from moving forward to your weight loss goals, health goals, life goals? Okay, some of my self-sabotaging thoughts, being fully transparent, is feelings of overwhelm. If I feel like I have a lot on my plate, I do self-sabotage myself. And then that I would not get everything done, that I would not get what's accomplished of what's required of me. And then the fear that things that I'm working so hard on will not lead to success. And so I must work hard to keep a positive mindset. Sometimes I just got to call on the name of Jesus because it just seems like so much happens, especially when it happens all at one time. And so those are overwhelming. And then when you feel that way, we make poor food choices. That's when we overindulge. That's when we crave. That's when we start doing things that, is going against what our goals are in the long run. So are you trapped in this vicious cycle of all or nothing thinking? You owe it to yourself to get on the right track and to know exactly what that means, getting on the right track. And so remember, I'm looking for 12 people who are highly committed to their weight loss success. And I'm offering at no cost a 60-minute back on track session, which is a complimentary phone consultation or phone session where we're going to discover your personal keys to weight loss success. Normally priced at $125, perfectly complimentary. Again, we're going to uncover a vision of your weight loss path, your nutrition path, and we're going to uncover any obstacles or unconscious patterns that have been maybe sabotaging your success in building those healthier eating habits that many of us so desire. We just want to know what to eat for our bodies. And this is going to help you get on that track. You'll leave the session not only inspired, but also with personalized and tangible next steps to catapult your success with weight loss and your health. Okay, so go to actionchoices.com/back on track and grab your spot on my calendar, fill out the short application, and it is easy as that. And so This is the last week to put your name in the hat. And my best advice is to apply. Don't wait. These sessions go fast. Okay. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. So this concludes what I have for your weekly dose of nutrition news for your mind, body, and soul. I am Sandra, your RDN. Thank you for tuning in today. And remember, it's all about creating a lifestyle of self-care and breaking food strongholds so that you can step into your highest level of health and have more energy. That's what it's all about. All right, so stay with me and tune in next week where I am going to air an up close and personal segment with Mr. Lewis Thurston. And here's your opportunity to hear from real people as they share their personal journeys and their powerful testimonies. Okay. And the title of his story is how he finally lost 26 pounds. He lowered his blood pressure, cholesterol, and fasting sugar levels, and avoiding additional medications or starting out on insulin. So a very powerful story. Okay. And we get to hear from himself. Okay. So next week, the featured article in my newsletter are the 7 keys to crush all or nothing thinking part 2. So these were the first 7 today. And then you will also have opportunity in my newsletter to get the second half. Okay. So thank you for tuning in and have a blessed and wonderful day.